Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that if you see Mr. Brooks, Mr. Smith, or Mr. Pester today, please just give them a compliment. Just make them feel good about themselves, because last night they just got handed loss after loss in Smash Brothers by Link, who I was playing at. So just wanted to drop that real quick because I'm kind of a big deal when it comes to Smash Brothers. That's right. All right. So today we're going to be talking about quadratic formula, and so I figured we're going to take a look at a little bit of a video here to explain some things. And so we have a little warm-up problem here that says find the zeros of y equals 2x squared plus x minus 5. Now, in class so far, we've talked about three ways to solve quadratics. Okay, we've talked about square roots, we've talked about factoring, and we've talked about completing a square. Okay, so when you look at this problem, if it says find the zeros, can I take the square root to find this problem, like find the zeros? Well, no. Why? Because there's an x, okay? You can only do square roots if it's x squared by itself. I don't have that here. All right, I have an x squared and I have it. If I try to factor, I'm doing my AC and my B. So like 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And then down low I have my B, which is 1. Okay, so can you guys think of any two numbers that multiply to give you negative 10 back to 1? And try as you might, there will not be any 1. So this is prime. Okay, this is not a factorable problem. Completing the square, the one thing that we want to have for completing the square is you want to have a 1 out front. Do I have that? No. If I divide everything through by 2, I could do that, but I'm going to get 1 over 2 in the middle then, and it's going to get really ugly really fast. So this problem is just ugly, okay? What the heck could I possibly do to figure it out? Well, that's what we're going to introduce today with the quadratic formula, okay? So here's something important to notice. I know I've been talking a lot lately about memorizing things, so on and so forth. This formula is huge. It's very, very important. But I will give it to you on the test, okay? So like you'll have it on the quiz, you'll have it on the test. They do normally provide this to you on, SATs and so on and so forth. So here it is. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Right? It's a wonderful equation. It really is helpful. I know it looks super ugly, but the good news about it is it's literally just pick out your A, pick out your B, pick out your C, and you're in good shape. All right, guys, so we want to get this equal to 0, right? The one thing that you always want for a quadratic formula is you want to make it equal to 0 to start out with. Okay, nice. So here I've got 2x squared plus x equals 5. If I subtract that 5 over, 2x squared plus x minus 5 equals 0. Okay, so here's my A, here's my B, here's my C. We've got everything that we need now in order to do well. Okay, hang on one second, one more time. Sorry, I had to focus that. That was driving my eyes nuts. All right, so here's my formula. So x equals, now, negative b. My b is 1, so negative 1 plus or minus. I'm literally just following the formula. B squared is 1 squared minus 4 times a times c is negative 5. All of that completely divided by 2 times my a is 2. Okay, now, what I want to do here is I want to just clean it up. Negative 1 plus or minus square root. Now inside here, all right, we've got 1 squared is 1. Now negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times negative 5 is plus 40. 2 times 2 is 4. So finally, I've got negative 1 plus or minus square root 41 over 4. Double check. Can I reduce anything down? No. This is prime, 41, so I can't reduce that down. There we go. So quadratic formula will always let you win. You can always solve it. Now here's the really neat thing about quadratic formula. Okay? Quadratic formula will work for anyone that's factorable, anyone that's a square root, anyone period. It works for any quadratic function whatsoever. Okay?
Hi.
All right, cool. So here we've got to solve a check. It says solve a check. You can just check it out. So is it equal to 0? Yes. All right. So now I need to know what my A, my B, and my C are. So my A is what's in front of x squared. You guys are cool with this by now. It's 1. My B is what's in front of the x. Be careful with your signs. Take your time. And C is 5. All right. So x equals negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC. All of that divided by 2A. All right. You'll get used to the formula. Again, you'll have it for you. So negative B. Now be careful here. Negative of negative 2. That sign's going to change. B squared is negative 2 squared. Negative 4, sorry, minus 4 times A times C divided by 2 times 1. Okay. The hardest thing for you guys is patience. You have to take your time and you have to check out your signs. When I have minus a negative, that becomes a positive. When I have negative 2 squared, be careful with your calculator. You guys are killing yourselves with your calculator. Okay? Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Times 5 is negative 20. Okay, cool. So I have 2 plus or minus square root of negative 16, 4 minus 20, over 2. What is the square root of negative 16? Well, it is 4i. Alright, so I've broken that down. Last thing, are all three of these numbers divisible by the same thing? Yes, they're all divisible by 2. So divide all of them by 2. 1 plus 2, 1 plus or minus 2i. And there's a 1 on the bottom, but you don't have to say divided by 1 because that's redundant. Like, we don't have to make that known, okay? Alright guys, the last problem here then, okay? X squared equals 2x minus 1. So get it, set, equal to 0. Alright, so I have to subtract over 2x from both sides. Okay, and then I want that negative 1 over, so I'm going to add the 1 over. Alright, now I'm ready to start. So I have A equals 1, I have B equals negative 2, and I have C equals 1. Alright, so if I put these into my formula, alright, so negative B, so it's negative of negative 2, plus or minus negative 2 squared, make sure you have parentheses around it, minus 4, my A is 1, my C is 1, divided by 2 times 1. Cool. So negative of negative 2 becomes positive 2, plus or minus, square root, negative 2 squared is 4, minus 4 times 1 is just minus 4. Okay. And then I've got 2 plus or minus the square root of, well, what's 4 minus 4? It's the square root of 0. Well, that's nice because that goes away. Now think about this with me. If this is 0, this goes away. I just have 2 over 2. Well, what is 2 over 2? 1. Okay. So, there's your quadratic formula. We just need practice with it. You guys got to set it equal to 0, find your A, B, C, throw it in your formula, and you got it. Take your time, watch your signs, and reduce as much as possible. Tomorrow we're going to go into greater detail about how there's different things at the end of it, and then we're in good shape. So as always, keep up the good work, and good luck. We're all counting on you.